All right, bro, let's go. Okay, big knives, let's see how tough you are. Oh! Hey, I get the feeling our jet judo needs a little more work. Oh? What makes you say that?
Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and today I want to talk to you about the Takara Missing Link Sunstreaker Cordon, the C-06, and what do they call this one? C-05, 5 and 6. And I gotta say that this was gonna be the year I finish my vintage collecting and go after all the parts to get G1 together. And Missing Link has made me excited about that. And so for that, I'm more excited about Missing Link than actually just completing vintage figures and price-wise and all that kind of stuff. This is super exciting. This is one of the figures that I've had a lot of trouble completing without spending a ton of money in the vintage line, and to get these and modern representations has been pretty exciting. It's actually far exceeded my expectations, and it's pretty much exactly what I expected, but a couple of little things they added into it I didn't expect make it that much better. But I did get this at Shows Storm. I have a link down below where you can get both of these. So there's 2 links down there, and get them while they got them, about 85 bucks, something like that. But let's get in and take a look at Cordon and Sunstreaker in a new and improved yet G1 coming up. All right, here's the packaging on both of these, and it feels really small. I'm not sure if it's a little smaller than the original. I'm pretty sure it's smaller than the original, but does homage G1. Wish we had an option for US, but it is what it is. And let's look at the sides there. There's the back. Did get a little bit bent. The box was big enough. I think it was just getting moved around. They got a little bit bent. The box was a good size. And the best part is the transformation sequence on the top, which it's not 100% the full transformation sequence, but it's enough to get you there. So, yeah, a lot of fun with the box. I do find it interesting how they use the styrofoam in here, and they pack the Diaclone style driver in with it, and some stuff we never got when we were kids. We didn't get this stuff. We weren't lucky enough for all this, but yeah, looking pretty good. The styrofoam, a lot of little accessories with it, and a whole lot of fun. So let's go ahead and get into this. So here they are right out of the box in the packaging, and they look really good. The thing is that I'm so used to these having such worn chrome and paint and beat up looking, because you'll see mine here in a little bit, my vintage one, my original-ish. And these just look so much better, just so fantastic. Really, really nice. It feels good to have this being an actual brand new product and brand new item. Now I know they've had encores in the past, and those were like 50 bucks or 60 bucks. And at the time I was like, I'm not paying that. And this for, I know these are like $85 or something like that, but that's about what a beat up loose one goes for nowadays. And now you get all the extra engineering on it, but they look really good. So there's some paint right here, Autobot symbol. And looking online, some of the vintage ones have a sticker that says Countach. I'm not sure if that's included in the sticker sheet or not, but so much that is similar and so much that is different. Now, I'd never had anything to do with this Cordon figure, so this is really a lot of fun to get this figure. And so we're going to get to see what it looks like transformed up. It's pretty cool. I think there's a red one and a couple other colors that they have put out over the years, which would be kind of fun. I know in Masterpiece it was a red one, and I almost bought it, but I didn't. But anyway, they look great. Let's see what we can do in alt mode. There's not much for alt mode, but there's a little bit. First of all, we've got these little drivers, which I don't know which one's supposed to go. This one goes with this one goes with this one, but I'm not sure exactly, like, names or what. I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about the Diaclone drivers. Would have been cool if they included like a spike and a spark plug, but that's not what this is. That's not the homage. That's not what it is. They're very, very tiny. They do just have articulation See the head? I don't know if the head moves. In the shoulders and the waist, and you can put them into the vehicle because this was engineered to open up a long time ago. And I don't want to scratch any paint or anything. Man, everything is so tight. Got it. And I'm going to try to keep the right one in the right vehicle. But, you know, the cool thing is that now there's a video to show which one goes with which and what, you know, how it was when I started. And there he goes. He's in there. He is in there. Same thing can happen in here. I'm not sure if I want to put the figures in there long term, but it is a nice little option that they include. When you do open this, the canopy, there are tabs here and here. So you want to be careful not to scratch any paint or mess anything up. When it's brand new, it's super tight, which is nice. I'm not used to tight. I'm not used to these things staying shut at all. My tabs are probably long gone, or there never were tabs. I don't know if there ever were tabs in the first place. So that might be a new thing. New engineering that was added. That's kind of nice. You got some tampograph right here. Tampographs. All this is tampographed on here and here. So that's really nice. CR, we'll CR that here in a little bit. And yeah, kind of cool. Kind of cool. Could have put the little driver in there and go drive around, do all kinds of fun stuff. But let's see that they roll and get into comparison. So all I really keep up here in my review space is Optimus Prime, and that is how it looks next to Optimus Prime. So obviously a little Lamborghini is going to be way smaller than the cab. It is what it is. They got to scale together in bot mode, and that's all that really matters to me at all anyway. And throw a Legends Ironhide in there, so it's smaller. It's supposed to be smaller, but yeah, it looks good. And I think the fun is going to come when we get into bot mode. All right, so I do want to point out that these figures are different than the original G1s, and the transformation is slightly different than the G1s and improved. And finally, I get the parts that I need. I'm curious if the parts swap over, transfer over. They do, but it's a looser fit than it is over here. So anyway, we're going to get into the transformation. But before we did that, of course, I transformed both my G1 and then the original. So I have some discussion points about what's different for each one. And before we transform it, a comparison to a G1 car mode. And I guess I should have done that before. A lot of similarities. It almost looks the same. We see that split down the center, along the side. There's a gap here, and there's not a gap here, and that same gap I think is on this one too. So it's just interesting how they've done some of this stuff. The rub sign on the bottom there, but yeah, and then it says CR. The other one said CR. So much fun, though, seeing a new modern representation of it. Looks like a tailpipe, that little thing there. Not an actual button. Doesn't actually do anything. It's just for looks. So you lost the spring action, which I don't know is a good thing or a bad thing, but so similar in the alt mode, you almost can't tell the difference. But way improved. Now for the transformation, we do want to pop this up. And I do not see tabs on either of my originals, and I don't see either slots for them to go into. We want to pull the legs down, which they are pretty tight to start. Then we're going to separate them. We do need to shimmy them out, which it is so tight. It's a bit of a shimmy process. There we go. Then we need to come around here to the back. And we're going to untab this piece here. And we want to rotate one arm up and out, the other arm down and out. And then we're going to put them down and then 180 on the bicep swivel. So this thing's always had a bicep swivel, which is pretty cool. Leave that down. We're going to come over here and pull the whole mechanism out. Like this, and that's different, that's new. This is going to rotate up. So you have a hinge there that doesn't exist in the original one. Fold this down, and I'm going to take the figure out at this point because I don't want them in there. Fold it down to here, and then this should go into place. And then in the back, this needs to angle. Come on, let's get it right. A 90-degree angle, and that clips in. That's how that works. And then work that back into place. And then the head's up, the arms are here. Then we need to come out and add a few pieces to it. So this is where we come and we get the shoulder pylons on whatever these things are called. They look kind of cool. I think it's supposed to be like that. And then this here, then open the hand. And at this point, let's fold the hand out. And then it's really weird. Really weird. You actually have, well, we had this on Prime too, but we have opening hands, which is so nice. This is why you don't have a firing mechanism, because of these hands. So is that a plus or a minus? It might be a plus. Then we come back here and it tabs in right here. This thing is fully transformed, ready to go, and different than the ones that I've been messing with for the last 20 years. So they're on the robot modes, and one thing you're going to notice that I did not show taking this hand out. I was considering just putting another missile in there, but I think, the more I think about it, I have zero connection to the Cordon. I am just happy to have this figure in the color scheme. So I figure they gave you a new gun, just using his hand as gun, and keeping all of these on the sprue. And so they both come with this on the sprue. This is so nice, and I'm just going to keep that nice and new and minty new and use the gun in his hand. Plus, I think that looks better, and it's a different character, and I like things being different for each one. So this is a very nice representation. They've done a fantastic job with these. And as someone who is looking at their 20-year-old Transformer collection that I have almost all the characters, and half of them are missing parts, it's so nice to have everything here and then some, and some extras. And we're going to get into these extras here in just a little bit. But I just want to showcase how good these look, and looking at them brand new. Great character selection, because this is an $80 figure to get a used one that's a little bit beat up but complete. 130 or 140 if you want to get one in really nice condition. Still not going to be this nice of condition. And yeah, when we get into comparison too, it's going to be a whole lot of fun there. And I will do the comparison before the articulation, which is important. But yeah, it looks really good. I think that they've done a great job with this figure. And it's exactly what I expected. And in all reality, it's exactly what I expected. But I didn't really know they were going to like change around the neck. But I'm glad they did. It is a better way to do this figure. It feels a little more solid in bot mode. That also might be because it's brand new versus 40 years old and run through the ringer. But these look great. You can put this missile in his hand. I just didn't do that. None of them fire missiles because the hands flip out. Still a whole lot of fun. And I think the best thing to do right now is compare it side by side with the vintage. Do articulation and then do a nice group shot. That sounds good with all the other missing links. So here, this is side by side. I want to point out the first thing that's glaring. I don't have these pieces, although I could put these over here. Why would I? And I didn't even know about those parts. I really wasn't too concerned about completing this guy. I just wanted him to look halfway decent on a shelf back in the day when I got him for $5. But the big deal is, and I'm missing that back piece. I have it on the car mode, but not on the bot mode one. This is a big difference, that this is one solid piece on the vintage one, and it's split into two pieces on this one. Huge difference. I don't see why they felt they needed to do this. This, I think it operates just fine without this. Yeah, it's a little bit of support to help them stand, but I think it would have been fine without this. As a collector, you could have just unscrewed it, take it off. And of course, this one's missing the spoiler too. So, you know, with all of that though, big difference, a big change in how they've done this. My head keeps flopping down on it. Of course, that's new, nice and neat, and new and in very nice condition and stuff. And mine's missing a wheel here. I took all the best parts and put them on a car, by the way. Like got them 20 years ago. I probably did that like a few years ago. The other differences in this is the fact that we have differences in articulation. And so I'm going to do that next. But looking at these side by side, we've got red paint here where this, I think, had a red sticker. And this other one shows the red sticker on something there. And so there's a red sticker homage with actual paint. There, the tampograph, that's not a sticker, that's not a decal. And they do come with decals too, by the way. This is the stuff it comes with, the decal sheet and all that, which I'm not going to apply. This one's the Cordon's stuff. But yeah, looking at these side by side, very, very close. And in maybe even like if down the road, 10 years from now, you're looking on eBay, you want to get a vintage one, and you're a purist, and you're like, you see this, you might get bamboozled. So the biggest, easiest way to tell is just, is it split on that piece down there? That's the easiest way to tell, I would think, because so much is so similar. That's how you know they've done a great job. It does feel a little bit bigger, too. It might just be me and the way I've transformed these, but it does feel slightly larger than the vintage, which is very welcomed. One last point, if you want to, you can swap the fists out. So you take the modern articulated fist, put in, you can do it on both sides if you want. I did it over here with, no, I didn't do it with him, but he has the same stuff. Then you can just get the boring old vintage fist, and it looks almost exactly the same, because he doesn't have articulation. Let's do this, guys. Do it this way. So they look almost exactly the same. Vintage, modern. Very strange. Do I have that upside down? Did I have this upside down the whole time? Maybe I did. This was upside down the whole time. Oh well. Anyway, there it goes. Looking good. Now for the articulation, we do have head up, head down, and it should have some left and right. So that's an improvement. Don't get that on the vintage. Then we have in and out, which we got on the vintage, which was actually really good. But you also have goes up. So the vintage one had a butterfly. Oh, but it stops. The butterfly stops right here. So, but this goes up, which doesn't happen over there. And this goes all the way in to a true butterfly. That's sort of a reverse butterfly, which is fantastic. Now, you did get this arm moving out for transformation in the vintage one. You did get a bicep swivel, and you did have the 90 at the elbow. So all that's the same as the vintage one. This one actually has an opening hand, so you can look like his hand is kind of splaying out a little bit. Not truly splayed, but just opened. Then we have, do we have waist swivel? I don't think we have any waist swivel. We do have articulation at the leg, so we can go 90. We have the knee, and it's sort of a double jointed knee, which is fantastic that you got a double jointed knee on this. You have ratchets in the feet, which I don't have in either one of mine on the G1, which is nice, and a bit of an ankle rocker, and you'll have this back support to go with that ankle rocker if you want to get into some of these poses. And you have the thigh swivel on there. So lots of added extra articulation. Oh yeah. And right here in the shoulder. So much extra added articulation that you're going to get over the original G1 brick. And the G1 brick is still fun. It's got its charm. It is what it is. But I like the improvements. I like the improved ones. I like this more. I'm not getting rid of my originals, though. One more thing with articulation is I did not show how far these go. That's insane. That is insane. And if you do it too much, you're going to wear it out. So I've heard that one before. So this is very, very good for articulation. The other point I don't think I did was you can adjust this to give them more stability in different poses. So that's the heel spur. Fantastic. Fantastic. Just love it, love it, love it. Want to see more stuff like this in future releases. That is for sure. Alright, so this is what we've gotten so far from Missing Link. Am I missing something? I feel like there was another Missing Link that I should have. But anyway, we've got Optimus Prime. We have these guys. We have Repaint, Cartoon, G1, Bumblebee, Cliffjumper, and I really feel like I'm missing something for Missing Link, but I'm not really missing anything. I've got them all, but this is what should be next. It's not next. We know RC's next, but this one should be on the roster. And now that I've handled this and I understand where they're going, I'm going to tell you what I think they're going to do when, not if, when, if's not in the vocabulary, when we get Megatron. Bookmark this video, and when we get a Megatron, come on back and see. We are going to get a head swivel. They're going to engineer a head swivel into this one way, shape, or form. Even though it's kind of strange, it's going to swivel back and forth on this piece. There's going to be a swivel right there. They will get a swivel. You're going to get, probably not going to get a butterfly on the inside, but you're going to get a lot more movement in this shoulder. And then you're going to get elbows that move and bicep swivel, because they engineered it in that just fine. They're going to engineer it into this just fine. This already kind of rotates, but we're going to get a waist swivel, and this is going to be engineered to where it can go on the back just fine. These will hold in better, probably ratcheted on there. Then when it comes to this here, we're going to get up and down on that joint. And then I believe, well, we've already got some knee articulation, but they're going to enhance the knee articulation with a joint right here. I believe is what's going to happen. Am I not fully extended on this guy? Then I think they're going to do something to where these pieces here can slide out. Now, this is a question mark that I don't know if they could pull it off or not, but I really feel like they can make this on a slider. Slide out to give him a little more depth in his legs. It's just something I think that they could do, but it would be a question mark whether or not they do it. Again, the swivel right here so that the leg moves, and a lot more. They're going to do a whole lot of stuff with this guy. Then as for the feet, we'll have some ankle rocker. So there'll be a break in here where the feet will have an ankle rocker. Still will be amazing to see what they do with a Megatron, as they've done a fantastic job with these. And I'm excited for every release. I am very excited for RC. I mean, one of the things that I'm most excited for in modern collecting is getting stuff that was never released before. As you can see, I do with the vintage lines. But with this, I mean, this is a vintage line, right? I want to say this Masterpiece is still kind of my favorite thing to collect. I have so much fun collecting Masterpiece. I've had this for a while. I love it. I like what they've done with it. This does take a bit to transform. It's complicated and all of that. Fast, easy transformation. This has hands similar to what they did, not exactly to what they did on the Masterpiece. But with that, I just want to say, next to the Masterpiece, yes, the Masterpiece is still amazing. They've done a fantastic job with it. Great figure. I don't think we need another Sunstreaker unless we get one with, really, really good paint job. Maybe from Takara, but maybe not. But this is a whole different ball game of fun getting the G1. Because it ain't no fun without G1. All right, so let me know what you think about these guys. The Missing Link, Cordon, and Sunstreaker, they look fantastic. It is so nice to have new representations and to have new ones that have articulation. You could do stuff with these. It is what we should have had back in the day. Cost would have been through the roof, and I don't even think we had the level of engineering to have pulled this off back then. I'm just saying that the small tiny joints would not have held up. And I really think that even if I was a kid and had these, I could have been careful with them enough to not break these. And I was careful with my Transformers. Broke very few. But I really believe that even back in the day, if I had these as a kid, it would have been amazing. I love Transformers, but I would have loved them even more. I would have wanted more arguments on the playground about the bricks, but let me know what you guys think about these. I'm going to have a link down below where you can get these at Shozy Store. They're about 85 bucks a piece, and I do believe they're worth it, and they do sell out pretty quick, and I'm looking forward to what other colors they come out with, but I'm full in on this line, missing link. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, subscribe to Dear Hanger out.
Congratulations, Chip. You saved the day. You're a hero. I am?
One small boy came between me and mastery of the universe.